The Congress party, a principal member of the India Alliance, a leader really of the India Alliance, finds itself increasingly isolated within the opposition bloc over its insistence on raising doubts about the reliability of electronic voting machines or EVMs after nearly every single election. And now it finds itself publicly at the receiving end of ridicule, not by the BJP, but by its very own alliance partners. Omar Abdullah of the National Conference and Abhishek Banerjee of the Trinamool Congress are the two latest prominent India Alliance netas who've publicly expressed open irritation with what they see as the Congress's attempt to deflect responsibility for its electoral failures by perpetuating the EVMs are hacked narrative. The India Alliance, conceived as a unified opposition front to challenge the BJP in 2024, has prided itself on showcasing a cohesive strategy. But all of that appears to be coming undone. This veneer of unity has been disrupted by the Congress's dogged focus on EVMs, which has irked several partners who perceive this as a diversionary tactic. Omar Abdullah, with barely concealed annoyance in an interview, points out that blaming EVMs every time the Congress performs poorly not only undermines the alliance's credibility, but also distracts from the larger goal of addressing issues such as unemployment, inflation, and issues of governance. Now, Omar Abdullah has a solid locus standi for his irritation. He won the J&K election handsomely recently, but was denied an alliance landslide thanks to the dead weight of the Congress totally messing things up in Jammu. Similarly, the Trinamool Congress under Mamata Banerjee has made no secret of its frustration. Trinamool leaders view the Congress's approach as an unwillingness to confront its deeper structural challenges, such as organizational stagnation and poor grassroots connect. You have Trinamool leaders openly now saying things like, every election cannot be blamed on EVMs. This fixation is damaging our collective efforts to present a credible alternative to the BJP. Even Abhishek Banerjee has let his annoyance show in public by chastising the grand old party today and asking them to prove to the Election Commission that EVMs can be hacked and that nothing can be done by just making random statements. Think about those two words, random statements. That is harsh language for one ally to use for another, especially when this EVM bogey has been commissioned and perpetuated by the very top of the Congress party, including Rahul Gandhi himself. Omar and Abhishek's annoyance represents an aggravated fatigue with the Congress party that expects to be treated as the boss of the India Alliance and yet has only proved to be a damaging drag since the Lok Sabha election. With the decimations in Haryana and Maharashtra, both elections that the Congress was expected to either win or perform very well in, the India allies are now of the firm view that the Congress, which managed its 99 seats in the Lok Sabha, partly riding on the Samajwadi Party's ground game, has completely destroyed any sense of momentum that the alliance as a whole enjoyed after June. And that the Congress, by wasting precious time being entitled, bickering over who will be CM, etc., rather than building upward, has ruined not just itself, but the India Alliance's chances of being more of a headache to Modi's BJP. But annoyance and irritation aside, it's also clear, viewer, that the Congress's renewed focus on EVMs is less about technology and more about intra-alliance politics within the India Alliance. The Congress is aware that its performances in the Haryana and Maharashtra elections are deeply under scrutiny, and murmurs within the alliance suggest that these results could be used as a pretext to recalibrate the leadership structure of the India Alliance. It's happening not even in a subtle manner, it's happening openly now. Parties such as the Aam Aadmi Party and Trinamool have grown increasingly assertive in questioning the Congress's claim to being the natural leader of this opposition bloc. By amplifying the EVM's hacked narrative, the Congress appears to be preemptively shielding itself from criticism, framing its potential losses as the result of systemic manipulation rather than its own very real organizational decay. This narrative also conveniently sidesteps the question of accountability for the Congress's inability to reverse years of decline, even in states where the BJP's incumbency should have made elections much more competitive than they were. The underlying tensions within the India alliance point to a growing belief among some partners that the Congress's dominance within the coalition may no longer be justified. With regional parties like the Trinamool, the Aam Aadmi Party, and even the DMK demonstrating much stronger grassroots connect and electoral resilience, there is a sense that the Congress is simply failing to pull its weight anymore. A string of poor performances, including in Jammu and Kashmir and also in Jharkhand and also in the upcoming elections, could embolden these parties to demand a greater say in alliance decision-making, potentially cutting the Congress down to size. The Congress's isolation on the EVM issue underscores a deeper challenge for the India alliance, the need to balance the ambitions of its diverse constituents while presenting a united front against a BJP that is doing nothing but building on its dramatic strengths this year. As frustration within the Congress mounts, alliance partners may increasingly push for a more decentralized leadership structure, one that reflects the realities of regional power dynamics rather than the Congress's historical dominance. For now, the Congress's insistence on raising the EVM bogey risks alienating key allies and detracting from the alliance's broader message. If the party cannot move beyond these tactics and address its internal weaknesses, it may find itself not only isolated within the India alliance, but also sidelined in the much bigger battles that lie ahead.